Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. It's Dennis,
Chrissy, Megan,
Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and finally we are back with our weekly live feeds.
I'm telling you, I thought that was it for me. Oh my God, I've never been that sick in my life. I'm still not 100%, but we're getting there.
In Hunter 1, you had the safe trip. So with a lot of stuff been going on around here. Their cousin had passed away to COVID. We've been sick. Some of us have had COVID, and it has just been a headache. And we want to thank you guys for reaching out.
We really appreciate it. It was sudden, and it really shook us. But we appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers, and my cousin appreciates it, and we thank you guys again. Yes, very much.
And thank you for your patience on this as well.
Yes, sorry guys, we've just we tried.
We've tried. We've done very little the last few weeks, so we had a lot of catching up to do. I released several videos today. Tomorrow there will be some, likely several days this week. There will be either case updates, or we do have some new cases. We will be doing case layouts. So it's going to be busy for a little bit. Many of you who have reached out have been able to get in contact with some of you. Some of you I haven't got there yet. This week I will be trying to catch up with all of that. If you tried reaching out through our Facebook page, the messenger on there, the messages all disappeared off of that the other day.
Yeah.
So I might not have that. So if that's how you tried to reach out, please reach out to us again on that. But we will be getting in contact with all of you who have been reaching out. And thank you for being here, for all the patience.
Thank you, Missy.
And the live feed going forward, Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m., most Sundays, unless we let you know ahead of time, will be our normal weekly live feed. Then we will be doing live feeds where we do an open discussion on some of these cases, and we will try to give a 24 to 48 hour notice before we do one of those live feeds. Tonight, we're eventually going to go ahead and turn tonight's over to an open discussion on Randy Leach's case. But going forward past tonight, it'll be broken up like that. And we've got several videos coming out, as I was saying, and we've got several searches that are coming up. And by the time the weather gets nice enough to get out, we should be feeling good enough to get out. Sorry, trying to read the comments over here. And I know Crooked Trail Designs is going through some changes. If you want to jump on that real quick.
We've recently had some trouble with the website also, so we're just gonna completely shut that down for now. And I'm going to be moving Crooked Trails over to Etsy since it's easier.
I love Etsy.
Yeah. It's just easier. I don't have to fight with trying to make a website work, and before too long, we will be having. Thanks, Missy. I am sleepy. It's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna be just moving everything over to Etsy for the time being. So. But I will still have all of my stuff I've created and all that on there. So I'm gonna have to check that out.
And going into Randy Leach, I mentioned this on a video the other day, and I want to go ahead and mention it again. The last video that I done on Randy, I was discussing the theory of him driving a complete different direction, not heading home. With the theory, he may have had too much to drink, tried to drive himself home or away from home at this point, and accidentally drive off a bridge or somewhere and just not been found yet. Somebody felt that it had insinuated suicide. When we first started looking at the case, we started from scratch. So every scenario we had to look at very early on. I've been able to, obviously we can't say this didn't 100% happen, but I don't believe, nor have I ever felt that Randy had committed suicide. And I did not mean for that video to insinuate that in any way. No. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure I got that cleared.
Yeah, that was just a theory that I had, that maybe he just drove off wrong. I never once considered it to be suicide. So,
because I mean, all the information we've had and we've found out and interviewed people and so on and so forth, there's no way, honest. My theory is, but that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to think what they want, but please don't twist words. Don't twist our words. No. We never once said that.
In Randy's case, I mean, in Missy, I just really don't think it was suicide. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Missy. I do not believe that it was. At this point, I'm still stuck between, was it an accident where he was driving, went off somewhere, or was there foul play? To me, it's down to those two possibilities.
And there's the thought of, my thought again, though, with everything we've learned and still learning, it has to be foul play. I'm sorry. I don't see any other way around it. That's me, though.
Yeah.
I lean towards foul play, but I cannot rule out the accident.
Yeah, Mark
and
says
Mark, no chance it was suicide.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely agree with you. In the last live feed, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago, we had left with some questions that some had asked, and we did find some of the answers. The year that Steve found the foot in the shoe along the Kansas River was March of 1989.
Megan was a whole year old then.
The pond at the Irwin residence was built after 1988. The sheriff at the time was Sheriff Campbell, and Sheriff Nye became sheriff in 1993.
Yep.
One of the people who asked Randy for his keys that night at the party was Kelly Powell. And I got that from an interview that Kelly had done, to where he mentioned he had asked Randy for his keys 3 different times. Randy kept telling him no, got kind of upset about it, so he just let it go. And there was a couple more that I haven't been able to confirm the names that had also asked Randy for his keys. And then with Leanne finding him, saying she found him outside as she was fixing to leave, she was able to search and determine he did not have his keys on him. So if he gave his keys to somebody, if somebody ended up swiping them, or if he did have them and she does not find them,
right?
You know, there's still so many scenarios that every little detail has like dozens of scenarios that could go with that.
Yeah.
But somebody had asked who the fire marshal was in 1988. I have still not been able to find who that was. So if one of you happens to know who the fire marshal was at that time, please let us know. And I had questions about the final timeline. And And Mark, I am working on trying to get a full timeline to get that out. Seen by James Burns around 1:30. Was that the day of the party? Leanne at her car, then Kim Irwin at the house. So seen by James Burns at 1:30.
What do I need to write down?
To finish the timeline.
Oh,
I don't even know if I got the timeline up here. There should be one in these.
Randy's last sightings.
Yeah, and Mark, unfortunately, when we're going through a lot of these files, there has been several people that it comes down to was allegedly the last ones that saw him. His friend Burns was going to drive him home. Yes, he's the one that took, I believe it was a female home, and while Randy looked for his keys and was going to come back and pick him up. And there's two stories I've heard with this so far. Is the one story is he come back and Randy was already gone. And the other story, I don't remember the full details. I will look this other story up again and get that sent over to you. I know there was the one that when he got there, he wasn't there. Then there was somebody who said that he refused to go and wanted to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another story. Yes, he took Kelly home first.
Then was supposed to come back for Randy, Mark said.
yeah.
Yep.
It should be in this other thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, James Burns at 1:30. Mark, this might be what you're talking about here. At 1 a.m., James Burns led Randy Leach inside the Irwin's front door or front foyer, had Randy sit on the bench. Reportedly, Randy could hardly hold his head up. He couldn't talk. He told Randy for him to sit there and wait while he run Holly home. And then he would be Kelly home, and then he would be right back to take him home.